Hello. Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3802. Yeah, 02. Today's date is 8th of January 2026. It's been almost like a morning at. Uh, I don't really have any watches. Okay, but probably might be. Okay, 9:43. Okay, 9:43 p.m. Okay, yeah. First of all, okay. Should I ask question to myself? Yeah, I have to be asked question to myself. But I was kind of like thinking about so many stuff. Okay, should I talk about this thing? Well, it doesn't make any sense of talking like that. Yeah, I would not gonna talk about this thing because it's kind of like somebody just consuming time and nothing really at all. I already decided, whatever. Okay, should we jump to the question? All right, let's do this. By the way, I have the question is actually in the mobile phone, and at this time I just okay. Yeah. So this is kind of a question that I kind of like simply prepared for it. Prepared somewhat, yeah. Like the question is about that key. What if the mirror kind of like shows you future? Okay, yeah. Okay. First of all, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? This is what if question. Why am I asking this question to myself? What if question has been really interested way to give the answer. It kind of like force me to think about that reality. When I try to think about that reality, or when I try to create that reality inside of my mind, I'm kind of like utilizing my knowledge and information and experience that I've been through, and somehow it kind of like felt good. The information that I'm trying to tell you is not exactly right or is not exactly wrong either. It's a raw, it's unfiltered, it's just my opinion. So do not believe in any kind of like information that I am saying, or do not seek for any kind of like information that I'm saying. It's just my opinion, and opinion are subjective. Now regarding about the question says that ki, what if kind of like only a mirror shows you future. Now this is kind of like a really good what if scenario. Okay, yeah, that kind of like a somebody that a mirror kind of like a shows the future. Um, like imagine yourself that ki you just kind of like somebody just had a shower and kind of like do your manage your hair and things and that, and suddenly you can kind of like see yourself almost like a 10-year ahead. Okay, yeah, and you actually seen that ki you are being really successful and things like that. So at first glance you might think that ki this is kind of like some very weird things like a but then you realize that ki it's my future. So what exactly is this thing happened? So I'm gonna tell you couple of scenario. Okay, yeah, what will gonna happen exactly like that. So basically is this thing na ki I looked at the mirror and I see the future of me. Okay, yeah. Other side of mirror, I'm not really sure that that thing, that future kind of like a version is kind of like a looked at me or not. Probably not. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing that the mirror is kind of like a shows you from present to future. The mirror does not work like future to past. No, it does not kind of like a shows you that. Okay, it kind of like a shows you a kind of like a somebody present version to future version. That's it. Okay, yeah. So basically, other side of the mirror, that particular person doesn't really know that ki am I looking. Okay, like basically the past version of person is kind of like looking at him or things like that. All right, yeah. So basically, what has actually happened that ki if I just kind of like went in front of the mirror, then probably that reflection is kind of like doing exactly like that. Like basically, just say I am kind of like a recording right now. So basically this is me, and imagine myself, this is the kind of like assembly, the kind of like a mirror, and I'm kind of like looking at the kind of like assembly mirror. So basically the person who is kind of like talking is a 10-year ahead of me. Okay, 10-year ahead of me. So what exactly is this thing? So what would be changed? Okay, yeah. If I know that the person that I am seeing on the mirror is my future version of myself, then probably there are a lot of things will gonna happen. First of all is that ki, let's just say that ki I am kind of like looking fat. in the mirror, so I would realize that ki no, this is the future version of myself, kind of like look really fat. So probably I have to go to the gym, balance diet and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. This would be kind of like a really good. Okay, yeah. Uh, then another thing is that ki, let's just say that ki um, like a like basically it's this thing that ki I am looking at the mirror and I'm kind of like a seeing at that I'm actually holding a trophy. Okay, in like I'm actually kind of like somebody win the Olympic game or things like that. Okay, yeah. Then I would be kind of like overconfident that ki like I am an athlete. Let's just say I'm a kind of like a somebody swimmer. Okay, yeah. And I see the kind of like a mirror reflection that ki I am actually kind of like a have win the gold medal in the Olympic game. So when I see that thing in my YouTube reflect in my kind of like a mirror reflection, then I would be really overconfident. Then I know that I would gonna win. So why do I supposed to be kind of like a do the practice and things and that and that? Okay. So there are a lot of kind of like a things will gonna happen. Okay, yeah. We actually judge regarding about what will gonna look in the future. Okay, yeah. And things and that. Like let's just say that I have kind of like a really thick hair right now. But let's just say that if I'm kind of like a somebody looking at myself that I am completely bald. So I would be kind of like a very scared and things like that, and I'm gonna do all the kind of like a necessary thing to kind of like a get all my hair and things and that something like that. Okay, yeah. Now, if such thing will gonna happen, then like is it something right thing or wrong thing? Well, it's kind of like a depend on personality, that who is exactly person and who is kind of like that particular person looked at that particular image and what kind of like a message that he get and things and that. Let's just say that athlete person, if that athlete person kind of like a sees himself that he was kind of like a holding the gold medal in Olympic games, then he would have the overconfident and he would not gonna do practice and things like that. So basically if such thing will gonna happen, then there is a question arise that will he able to win that gold medal or not, right? And there is a lot of things like basically if the future version, the mirror reflection version of yourself that look like really fat, then you are kind of like somebody doing kind of like a gym and things like that. So the question actually arises that the reflection of you, the future reflection of you is a right or wrong. Like basically you are kind of like seeing yourself on the mirror that you are fat and right now you are kind of like doing gymming and things and that. Then probably you are kind of questioning yourself that is it kind of like worth it or not? Because I put all the effort in gym and things like that, but in the end if I kind of like look like this, like a fat and stuff like that, then what is actually matter if I put the effort or not? Okay, yeah. So like basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing na ki usually is this thing, if I wanted to look at the success in the real world, I would kind of like simply rely on how much effort that I do every single day. Okay, like if I wanted to become something or someone, I would kind of like simply focus on my effort, that how much I put the effort today every single day. Okay, yeah. I'm not seeing the kind of like a future version of myself in some sort of reflection and things like that. I am believing in my effort, I'm believing in my hard work and things and that. And I know that one day I will gonna achieve my success and things and that. Right? Yeah. So basically is this thing na ki not worry about the future and kind of like a focus on the present, that make this present as much better, as productive as I can. This is what I believe right now, and this is, yeah. But if I kind of like see the reflection, my belief system would be changed. I would not believe in kind of like something like that ki my effort. I would not believe in kind of like something the hard work. I would not believe in everything at all. Okay, yeah, because the end result that I'm seeing every single day in front of the mirror. So this is kind of like somebody really wrong. Okay, yeah. It kind of like somebody is this thing na ki it just not good. Okay, like I realized something that na ki yeah, future version of every person, everyone wants to know that how do I supposed to look in the future, what exactly my future would be like, and this and that. Everyone wants to know that thing. But the problem is that na ki when we try to know about the future, we kind of like something the we kind of like stopping ourselves to kind of like something that like stopping ourselves, like I don't know how do I supposed to explain this. It's a kind of like a thing that na ki um um like excitement for things that what you will kind of like assembly see in the future. It's a, like I don't know. Okay, yeah. Imagine. Okay, yeah. Just kind of like assembly for the sake of example. Okay, yeah. Um, I didn't really watch the Harry Potter Half Blood Prince. Half Blood Prince, yeah, Half Blood Prince. Okay, yeah. Imagine myself. I already watched this thing, but imagine myself that ki I was kind of like assembly. I didn't really watch the Half Blood Prince. Okay, yeah. And I was really excited. I was really curious. I was kind of like somebody want to know and things and that and that. And someone kind of like came to me and say this thing, Dumbledore die in the at the end of the movie. I was like, what the fuck was? Why did you spoil this movie for me? Like literally, just like that. Now I was never really expected that the Dumbledore will gonna die and things like that. But if someone spoiled this movie for me, that it would be kind of like a yeah. Because while I was watching the movie, I was always kind of like a thinking that ki Dumbledore will gonna die, Dumbledore will gonna die, Dumbledore will gonna die, and it's kind of like a feel like really fucked up shit, dude. It's a kind of like somebody removing the all the surprise thing that movie should supposed to be offered, but that particular person kind of like a spoil that thing, and that's a feel really wrong. Like basically is this thing now. What I realized that na ki when something kind of like a came in front of you suddenly, you just kind of like basically you just you just like I don't know how do I supposed to explain this thing. It's just like that na ki what exactly that stuff like basically is this thing. I didn't really watch the Harry Potter movie. I didn't really watch the kind of like a Half Blood Prince, and basically it's this thing that ki when I first time I realized that ki like if someone didn't really spoil me and kind of like somebody I watched the movie and suddenly Dumbledore die, that emotion is kind of like a feel like a really too much. Like this is the kind of like a thing that I didn't really expected, and the movie kind of like somebody offering me that ki Dumbledore die and stuff like that, and then I was feel like that so much emotional and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. But if someone spoiled me, then probably I would not gonna feel that emotion. I would not gonna feel that kind of like somebody that Dumbledore die and things like that. I would not gonna feel that weight of Dumbledore die and things like that. So this is what it is. Like basically is this thing a mirror reflection is kind of like a spoiled your life. Okay, yeah, because you already know what will gonna happen and things and that, and then it kind of like a really it kind of like a take that kind of like a enjoyment or emotion that you will gonna face or you will gonna feel that thing like a okay if you're still not really understanding this thing now, let's just imagine that ki you are kind of like a doing a gym. Okay, probably is this thing that ki when you are doing a gym you will not gonna ripped out. Okay, you will not have that kind of like abs and kind of like things and that like basically at the beginning you have to put the effort of years of effort, then you kind of like look like athletic body and things and that, right? Yeah, so you have to put the effort every single day, and after you put the every single day, slowly your body kind of like look like kind of like athletic and things like that, and you feel really good. Okay, you feel that ki yeah, because let me tell you one thing na ki when we put the effort of something and then we achieve that thing, you actually kind of like feel that ki I achieved that thing. I literally achieved that thing. It's a kind of like a thing that na ki it felt really good to kind of like somebody I did this thing. It's a okay if you still not really understanding this thing, okay, that ki imagine yourself that ki you are kind of like a mopping the floor. Okay, now let's just imagine that floor was kind of like a really dirty and things and that. Okay, now when you mop the floor and things and that and after you mop the floor looks like really clean and things and that. When that floor looks really clean, then you feel like that ki I put the effort, that's why that floor kind of like a look really clean and things like that. But if I kind of like simply magically kind of like a click and suddenly the floor is actually clean, then you don't really feel that ki the floor was clean. Like you don't really feel that thing. Like basically what I'm trying to tell you is this, when someone kind of like offer you something very easily, then you don't really have the value of that thing, and that is what exactly happened. Like when you put the effort, when we put the things and that we kind of like a hold that kind of like some value inside of us, like how much I put the effort in gym, or how much I put the effort that mopping the floor and things like that. That effort kind of like a gives us reward when it clean and when it got the ripped out or things like that. Okay, yeah. But someone kind of like offer you like a blink of eye, or someone kind of like a give the reflection in the mirror and things like that, then it kind of like a somebody just take that, like a take out that all the kind of like a somebody the joy of surprises, probably the joy of surprises or joy of kind of like a achieving that thing that is gone. And this is what the reflection will gonna do. And this is what kind of like somebody not good stuff. Okay, yeah. I think that na ki probably these are like a, I don't know, dude, yaar. I think that na ki, like if someone kind of like offering me that kind of like a mirror that shows you kind of like a future and things like that, would you buy? Definitely not. Okay, yeah, because I think that na ki you just have to believe in yourself that what you will gonna become. That's it. That's the only thing. And the one thing that you do is that you just put the effort in every single day. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Okay, yeah. Like if something kind of like a giving you shortcut, or something kind of like a gives you kind of like a mirror reflection, or a kind of like a snippet about the future and things that, I will not gonna like, even if someone kind of like offering me with free and things like that, I will not gonna do this thing, because it's spoil my thing. It spoil the kind of like a something the it spoil the kind of like a somebody the stuff that I wanted to achieve. And when I achieve that thing, I feel really good. I feel that yes, the stuff that I kind of like a effort, I achieve that thing, I feel really good. But if someone kind of like offering me free, then it kind of like a decrease the value, as well as kind of like a, yeah, this is what I'm thinking right now. But still, it's just kind of like a human mind. Okay, not every person kind of like a think like that way. Okay, yeah, because putting the effort and things is kind of like a bit more difficult. Most of people are don't really wants to kind of like put the effort and things to achieve and stuff like that. I am not that one of those person. I am believing in effort and things. So yeah, whatever, different person have different thought process, and sometimes that is good. All right, this thing I should supposed to be end here. Thank you.